بسم الله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praise is due to Allah, and may peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. We continue with the story of Musa alayhi salam, and before we do that, there's just some benefits that we need to reap from the verses that we have mentioned before. So I would like first of all just to make a recap on what we have covered up to now. Musa alayhi salam, we said, he is the mightiest prophet in the children of Israel. He is the one whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to. He is a messenger and a prophet. He's from the ulul azm, the 5 prophets. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had praised him. His name was mentioned the last time I said 136. It's actually 131 times. Whereas the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's name was mentioned only 4 times. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had accepted his shafa'ah regarding his brother Harun. So he responded to his call and request by making him a prophet and making him as well a minister for him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had also written the Torah with his own hands to him. Also, he had set for us the best of examples in patience. And that is, we could find that in 2 narrations. I would like to narrate them because we did not do that last time. And that is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim on the authority of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. That Musa alayhi salam, he says, the Prophet of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is saying, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam was a modest, sittir. He would always hide himself regarding his awrah. He would not disclose it. And all the prophets that would do so. Like the Prophet of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was young, before he received his prophethood, when he was helping the people of Quraysh to put the stones of the Kaaba, somehow his izar fell down. He was with his uncle al-Abbas. Suddenly he fell unconscious, and after that his awrah was never seen except by his wives. Here Musa alayhi salam, always when he has a ghusl in the river, he will have it on his own. As for the children of Israel, they used to have a wash when they are naked. So one of them would look at the awrah of the other. Musa alayhi salam, he would wash himself alone. So the children of Israel started talking about him. They're saying, he's hiding himself. Maybe there's something wrong with his skin. Maybe he's got a leprosy. Maybe he's got a testicle, which is something wrong with it. Maybe it has been swollen. Maybe he's got a disease. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he wanted to free him from all of that. So one day he was having his ghusl and he put his clothes on top of a stone. And when he wanted to go back to pick up the clothes from the stones, verily the stones started moving. And Musa alayhi salam chasing up the stone with his stick. And he's saying, Thawbi, thawbi, my garment, my dress, oh stone, respond, stop. Until the stone made him to pass in front of, from the people, from the children of Israel. And they saw Musa alayhi salam totally naked, like as beautiful as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created him. They said, Wallahi, there is nothing wrong with him. And as soon as they seen that, the stone stopped. So Musa alayhi salam took his garment and his thawb. Then he never stopped beating up the stone. Abu Hurairah, he said, by Allah, there is some marks in the stones. That is maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 marks on the stone. They stayed for a long, long time. Before I go ahead to the second narration regarding his patience, I would like just to clarify this issue. Somebody might think, why is Musa alayhi salam crazy, beating up a stone? It's a stone. And if somebody gets mad, he beats up a table or a stone. So it doesn't say. Well, you see, this is a miracle. Just like the stone was moving and running, that is why Musa alayhi salam had hit it, because it moves. If it's a normal stone, he will not hit it. So it's a stone that shows a miracle. So that's why he deserves to be beaten, because he took his clothes. So this is like a special stone, and that is why. So it's not like a stone that is, for example, a natural one, a normal one, that will be, Musa alayhi salam will be exerting so much effort to beat him up, and then he will might injure himself in the process. No, it is not. It's not a normal stone. Also from Hadith Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, on the authority of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, on the day of Hunayn, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he took the war booty, he started dividing it between the mighty, noble Quraysh, the ones who just hardly embraced Islam, like Al-Aqra' ibn Habis and Uyayna ibn Hisn and others from the elite people of Quraysh. And he was doing that in order to capture their hearts. Can I just ask for the brothers to get close as possible, Jazakumullah, fill up the gaps, barakallahu fikum. The ones who really want to study, please make sure that you are together. Please, Jazakumullah, please. So the Prophet ﷺ, he gave them this war booty and gave them more than the others, even more than the ones who've been Muslim for a long time and they've been fighting more than these people, because he wanted to reconcile their hearts. So one of the Ansars, he said, this basically dividing of this is not just, and the pleasure of Allah is not being sought with it. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, by Allah, I'm going to mention that to the Prophet ﷺ. So I found the Prophet of Allah with his companions and I told him. Prophet of Allah had a frown face, not pleased with what he had heard. Even Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, I regretted telling him. Then I said, I wish I did not tell him. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily, who's gonna be just if I am, or if Allah and His Messenger are not just? Who's gonna be just? Then he said, Yarhamullahu Musa. May Allah have mercy upon Musa alayhi salam. فَقَدْ أُوذِيَ بِأَكْثَرَ مِنْ هَذَا. He'd been harmed more than this. فَصَبَرْ. And he was patient. So that just shows how he was patient. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Ahzab verse 69, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ آذَوْا مُوسَى فَبَرَّأَهُ اللَّهُ مِمَّا قَالُوا. O you who believe, do not be like those who had harmed Musa alayhi salam, and Allah had made him to be free from what they have said. He showed them that what they said is absolute false. His Sharia was the greatest of all Shari'ahs in his time. Shari'at Muhammad, of course, now legislation is the greatest of all Sharia as an absolute. And also Musa alayhi salam, he was the sincere advisor. In the story of Al-Mi'raj, when the Prophet ﷺ ascended heavens, first, second, and he passed the sixth heaven, which was the heavens where Musa alayhi salam is residing. And when he went to the Almighty after the seventh, he went to the Sidrat al-Muntaha, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and he had imposed upon us the 50 daily prayers. So he went down and he passed Ibrahim, then he passed Musa, and Musa alayhi salam, he asked him, what did your Lord impose upon you? He said 50 daily prayers. He said, go back, ask for reduction. Your people can't take it. And that is, we have to consider that how Musa alayhi salam was so kind to this ummah. Had it been for him, we would have been praying 50 daily prayers. Yes, Allah in His qadr, He put already it's going to be 5 daily prayers. But He had to do it through whom? Musa alayhi salam. That's the qadr. To show you that the rank of Musa alayhi salam and how sincere advisor he was to this ummah. So he went up and asked for reduction. 5 prayers, until he went down to 5 daily prayers. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, that's it, no reduction. 5 daily prayers will receive 10 times its like, that's 50 prayers. So he went down, how much? He said 5 daily prayers. Musa alayhi salam, again he said to him, go back and ask for a reduction. And that's when the Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily, I am shy to go back to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla after this. And every time Musa alayhi salam would tell him to go and ask for reduction, he would look at Jibreel alayhi salam. And Jibreel alayhi salam would give an approval sign. Yeah, let's go ahead. So he goes with him in the Mi'raj up and asks for 5 daily prayers. Go down, up, 5 daily prayers. So it will decrease by increment of 5 daily prayers until it became now, alhamdulillah, 5. And by the way, people of the Bani Israel, children of Israel, they have only 3 prayers. 3 prayers. Now, also, as we said, his ummah is the greatest of ummah in its time, but the ummah of Muhammad is greater, as we have said. Also, we've said that the greatest of followers after the followers of Muhammad are the followers, in the number I'm saying, that is the followers of Musa alayhi salam. You remember that we said? Yes, the hadith. And his name is Musa ibn Imran, and is being mentioned 131 times in 33 surahs. And the details of his story was mentioned in 4 surahs: Al-Baqarah, Al-A'raf, Taha, Al-Qasas. All of that just for the sake of that is contemplating, because lots of benefits in the story of Musa alayhi salam. His Torah, his book is the Torah, and also it's called Suhuf Musa. It could be 2. He's been sent to the mightiest king of the earth at that time, and maybe after him, Fir'aun, may Allah curse him. Fir'aun has been mentioned in the Quran 67 times, believe it or not, in 27 surahs. That's how bad he was. And he called himself as a god, and he called people to worship him. مَا عَلِمْتُ لَكُم مِّنْ إِلَهٍ غَيْرِي, Surah Al-Qasas, verse 38. And also he said, أَنَا رَبُّكُمُ الْأَعْلَى, in Surah Al-Nazi'at, verse 24. Each king on Egypt is called Fir'aun. The Fir'aun of Musa, maybe he's called Al-Walid ibn Mus'ab. طيب. Now, if we now skip just the story that we have mentioned regarding his birth, because we've mentioned it, just want to make sure that you understand that how we can benefit from the story up to when, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Musa alayhi salam to be picked up by the Fir'aun. And Allah Azza wa Jalla gave the promise to the mother of Musa that he will be a prophet, and also he will be returning back to her. So, first benefit that we could gain from this is احفظ الله يحفظك. Keep Allah in your mind, Allah will keep you. Allah will look after you. Allah will preserve you. This is Musa alayhi salam, or alayhi salam. She had kept Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by responding to his command when he said to her, فَأَلْقِهِ فِي الْيَمِّ, throw it in the river. And also he said to her, أَرْضِعِي, suckle him, and then throw him in the Yam, and do not be scared. And she did that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he had affirmed her heart with the belief, and also he had kept for her son alive, and he made that son to return back to her. And not only that, to feed him again, and being called his mother by suckling, and also to take money on top of that, to be given wages for that. So just like the one who had affirmed the heart of Musa, the mother of Musa, that she made Musa alayhi salam to put him in that box, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The one who had preserved Musa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the one who had made Musa alayhi salam to be brought up in the palace of Fir'aun, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah Azza wa Jalla had given all these blessings to Musa alayhi salam, and he reminded him with that in Surah Taha, verse 37 to verse 40, وَلَقَدْ مَنَّنَّا عَلَيْكَ مَرَّةً أُخْرَى, to the end of the verses. Also, Allah's Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he taught Abdullah ibn Abbas, the young boy, said, Ya ghulam, inni u'allimuka kalimat. Oh boy, I teach you words. احفظ الله يحفظك. Keep Allah, Allah will preserve you, keep you, will look after you. احفظ الله تجده أمامك. Always remember, put your mind, Allah in your mind, Allah will be there in front of you. تعرف على الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة. Know Allah in the time of prosperity, relaxation. Allah will know you in the times of calamities. Second benefit, it is that we need to take also the asbab, the causes, not just to depend upon what we've been promised. So we've been promised now Al-Mahdi is going to come. We can't just say put our hands like this and we say Al-Mahdi is going to come. I'm going to do nothing. Wait for the Mahdi. So the mother of Musa, even she had the promise from the Almighty that Allah will return her son. She did what she's supposed to do. So she put him in the box. She made the boxes waterproof and all of that. It's not just like she threw him like this. She put him in the water like this. She put him in a box. So even though Allah told her to throw him in the river, she had to take what she had to take and to do what she needed to do. Maryam, regarding Isa alayhi salam, when she was pregnant, she had the tree next to her. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said, وَهُزِّي إِلَيْكِ بِجِذْعِ النَّخْلِ, and shake the trunk of the palm tree. Now, shaking the palm tree, you need a bulldozer. Never mind, even a car will not shake it. But Allah gave her the power. So Allah is capable of saying that this date will come onto her without shaking. But Allah, He wants to show that even this person has been promised this miracle, he has to do his bits. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He had given her the provision without even anything. فَلَمَّا دَخَلَ عَلَيْهَا زَكَرِيَّا الْمِحْرَابِ وَجَدَ عِنْدَهَا رِزْقًا. When Zakaria entered upon her, when she was in her place of worship, he found with her rizq, provision. قال يا مريم أن لك هذا. So he said, oh Maryam, where did you get this from? قالت ومن عند الله. She said, it is from Allah. إن الله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب. The mother of Ismail alayhi salam, what did she did? When she said to the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, if you remember, Ibrahim, he left her and she put her hand on her shoulder. You leaving us? Is it Allah commanded you to do so? He said yes. So she said, Allah will not neglect us. So when she said Allah will not neglect us, she knows that Allah is looking after her. Did she do nothing when her baby was crying? She said, I'll just wait here until Allah gives me rain on top of my head. Or she went crying and she went running between Safa and Marwa and all of that. And she knows Allah is looking after her, but she has to do His bits as well. So taking the cause is very important. Also from the benefits, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's promise is always haqq. Allah, He promised Musa, the mother of Musa, and the mother of Musa, she had received what she's been promised. And Allah, He promised us that if we do what Allah told us to do, He will make us to dwell in the Jannat, the gardens under which rivers will flow. طيب. Now, we come to وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ. Now, we're going to come to the point where we had left it. But before that, when he was with Fir'aun, until Allah Azza wa Jal given him al-ilm wal-hukm, which is not the prophethood yet, gave him the knowledge and all of that. And he was on the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was the religion of Yaqub alayhi salam. There is no recording of how much time between when he was in the palace until now he's going to enter the Medina, as we're going to see inshallah. There's no time there, because we said a number of times that the book, the Quran, is not a time of what? Of history. It is not a book of history. Okay? So we don't know. So let's read the verses, which is وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ وَاسْتَوَى. Is that the one? آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Translate, please.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. It's lesson 36 and it's of the Qasas al-Anbiya, and it's the 20th of Rabi al-Thani 1441. And we're under the trial of Musa of killing a man. And translating the meanings of the verse in English. And when he reached his full age and was firmly established, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge.
Wisdom and knowledge doesn't mean prophethood. Wisdom and knowledge. It could be when he was 40 years old. It could be less. Well, they say that the wisdom, and when the person reaches the 40, that's when he gets the wisdom. Allahu a'lam. The wisdom tooth. The wisdom tooth as well. Allahu a'lam. نعم. How many years we don't know. نعم. فضل. ودخل المدينة على حين غفلة من أهلها فوجد فيها رجلين يقتتلان هذا من شيعته وهذا من عدوه فاستغاثه الذي من شيعته على الذي من عدوه فوكزه موسى فقضى عليه قال هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو مضل مبين. نعم.
And thus do we reward those who do good. And he entered the city at a time when its people were at noon rest. And he found two people fighting there, one of them from his own people and the other from his enemy. The one from his own people pleaded for him to help against his enemy. So Musa struck him with his fist and killed him. He said, "This is a work of Satan. Surely he is a manifest misleading enemy."
قال ربي إني ظلمت نفسي فاغفر لي فغفر له إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.
He prayed, "O my Lord, I have wronged myself, so please forgive me." So Allah forgave him, and He is all forgiving, the all merciful.
قال ربي بما أنعمت علي فلن أكون ظهيرا للمجرمين.
He said, "My Lord, for that you have bestowed upon me, I shall never be a help to those who sin."
Go ahead. Verse by verse. تفضل.
Before Allah the Almighty mentioned His favors upon Musa's mother, now He has started the story of Musa when he reached his puberty and the life of wisdom and knowledge, which is from the viewpoint of many scholars the age of 40.
Allahu a'lam. We don't know how many years between this incident and between Musa's birth. Naam.
The wisdom and knowledge denote to the prophethood and being sent as divine messenger, as indeed was his mother inspired.
Inna radduhu ilayka wa ja'iluhu min al-mursalin. Sorry, but it's just we have recited it, isn't it? Go on.
We shall return him to you, and we shall make him one of the messengers.
Fadl.
Musa kills. Then Allah mentioned the reason why Musa had to leave Egypt and go to Midian and stay there for a time. How he received the revelation when he was returning from Midian after the completion of his agreement, as the details will follow.
So the revelation came to him after he came back from Midian. But before he came back from Midian, there was lots of incident took place, and this is the killing of that man from the Coptics. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says, وَدَخَلَ الْمَدِينَةَ عَلَى حِينِ غَفْلَةٍ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا. Naam.
And he entered the city at a time when its people were at noon rest. Ibn Abbas, Suddi, Qatada, and others said that it was the time of afternoon, when most people go for siesta. However, in another opinion from Ibn Abbas, it was the time between sunset and Isha time.
Between sunset, that means Maghrib and Isha. طيب. Basically, he entered the Medina where there is nobody there. Because if there's lots of people, then there will be an escalated sort of killing here. The Coptics will, go and get revenge for that man who's being killed from them. And so there was nobody there. So he just found now two men fighting one another. Tfaddal.
And he found two people fighting there, one of them from his own people, the Israelites.
That means he's Israeli. From his own people, is Israeli. And by the way, Musa alayhi salam doesn't know it's from the children of Israel. He knows that the mother of Musa, she is giving him, suckling. Okay? And the Israeli people, they don't know that Musa alayhi salam is Israeli, but they know that now they've got a better situation because they know the mother of Musa is giving him now, the mother of Musa is giving him the suckling. So at least she is the foster mother of the son whom Fir'aun is looking after him, who is called the son of Fir'aun, by the way. He's called the son of Fir'aun. So because of this, now they feel that they've got some power. We are the maternal cousins of this boy who is number one with Fir'aun now. He's in the house, in the palace of Fir'aun. Tfaddal.
And the other from his enemy, the Coptic.
So the Coptic is from the enemy, which is one of the ones from Fir'aun people. Now,
the one from his own people pleaded for him to help against his enemy. Musa had a free access and power in Egypt because of his relation to Fir'aun. And the Israelites have also felt elevated and proud that they had fostered Musa.
They don't know that actually the mother of Musa is the real mother of Musa. They didn't know that. Naam.
So that they are his cousins. So when the Israeli pleaded Musa for help against the Coptic Egyptian, Musa came to him and struck him with his fist and so killed him.
Right. Struck him with his fist, or there is another narration that he struck him with a stick with him. So it could be his fist or it could be a stick that he killed him with it. Mujahid, he said, it is with his two hands, kaffi, like a punch, lakma. And the other one says, Qatada, he says, asa, a stick. Musa alayhi salam is powerful. He's known for his power. His power going to be seen later on how he's going to be, for example, giving the water to those two ladies which are in Midian. They wanted to have some water for their sheep. They said, with a narration, that he had removed the stone on top of that well, which only 10 people needs to remove it, they said. But the hadith which is authentic is the angel of death who came as a human being, and the angel of death is powerful. He came as a human being. And he came to Musa alayhi salam and he said to him, who are you? He said, I'm the angel of death. What do you want? It's your time to go. But you have a choice. Soon as he had seen this, he didn't know he was the angel of death. He gave him a knock. Same thing like this. He gave him a punch. He knocked his eye out. That's an angel. An angel is powerful. He knocked his eye out. So he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala And he said, oh Lord, you're sending me to somebody who doesn't want to die. So Allah returned back his eye. And he said to him, go back again. Going back again now on the same instant, straight away. Go back to him again and ask him, if he wants to live, let him put his hand on the ox skin, and the number of hairs he touches, the number of years he will live. So he went back. As soon as he saw him with his eye back, he realized that this cannot be a normal human being. Because his eye's out, now his eye's back. So Allah is saying to you, if you want to live, put your hands on the ox, bull skin, and the number of hairs you touch, the number of hairs you live. And that's a lot of years. Because the hand of Musa alayhi salam, remember, he's a big man, old, it's more than 100 years, mashallah. So the number of hairs you touch with a small hand of ours is hundreds. So he said to him, then what? He said, then death. He said, let it be now. That's how the prophets, let it be now, straight away. طيب. He had not intended to kill him, but he punched him. And by the way, he did not give him a help because he is from Banu Israel, because he doesn't know that he doesn't know that he is actually the mother of his, is the mother of his. And let's say for the sake of argument, he knows Musa alayhi salam is not giving a help to somebody who is bad against somebody good. No. Remember, the Coptic, they always at that time humiliate the Banu Israel. So he's always siding with the truth, not siding with his, for example, with his tribe, the Banu Israel. That's not correct. So he sees the haqq is with this Israeli against that Coptic who is always, having the upper hand, torturing the Israelis, the Bani Israel. That's why he helps him. It's not because he's from his clan, his club. No.
That Coptic Egyptian was a disbeliever. Nonetheless, Musa did not intend to kill him. He only wanted to restrain him and rebuke him. That is why Musa said, translating of the verse into English, this is a work of Satan. Surely he is a manifest misleading enemy. He prayed, O my Lord, I have wronged myself, so please forgive me. So Allah forgave him. He is all forgiving, the all merciful.
And by the way, the Coptic is a disbeliever. Remember that. He is believing in Fir'aun to be a god. Now,
he said, my Lord, for that you have bestowed upon me, I shall never be a help to those who sin.
Whatever you bestowed upon me means the power. He's got the power. I'm not going to use that power to be helping the criminals. Right. Now we come to how the Coptics conspiracy regarding Musa alayhi salam to kill him. تفضل. فأصبح في المدينة خائفا. نعم.
So he became fearful and worried in the city.
فإذا الذي استنصره بالأمس يستصرخه قال له موسى إنك لغوي مبين.
And the man who had pleaded for his help the day before sought his help again. Musa said to him, surely you are a belligerent.
فلما أن أراد أن يبطش بالذي هو عدو لهما قال يا موسى أتريد أن تقتلني كما قتلت نفسا بالأمس إن تريد إلا أن تكون جبارا في الأرض وما تريد أن تكون من المصلحين.
But when Musa was about to assault the man who was an enemy to them both, the man said, O Musa, would you slay me today as you slew a living soul yesterday? You only wish to be a tyrant in the land, and you do not wish to be of those who seek righteousness.
وجاء رجل من أقصى المدينة يسعى قال يا موسى إن الملأ يأتمرون بك ليقتلوك فاخرج إني لك من الناصحين.
And there came a man running from the farthest part of the city, saying, O Musa, the chiefs are conspiring to slay you, so depart this place, I am your sincere advisor.
فخرج منها خائفا يترقب قال رب نجني من القوم الظالمين.
You don't have that one.
You have that one? Okay, go on. Doesn't matter.
Allah the All-Knowing informs us that Musa became frightened in Egypt from Fir'aun and his establishment.
Nobody knows who had killed that man except for how many? 4. That is Musa alayhi salam and the Israeli and the Coptic and Allah the Almighty. The Coptic now is what? Dead. So who's left? Allah Azza wa Jal and Musa alayhi salam and the Israeli. The three left. The ones who knows who had killed him. Nobody. But he was scared. He might know. Because rumors would say that it must be from Banu Israel who had killed the Coptic. They will not, accuse somebody from their own. It has to be from Bani Israel. Okay? So Musa al-Salam was really scared regarding him. Being scared here, we're going to talk about it. Scared, which is natural scare, is not blameworthy. As long as you're not coward. Scared, that means you are taking precautions against something that you expect is going to happen. So I'm lifting up a stone in the desert. I'm scared. There's a snake there. No problem. I'm not chicken. I have to be careful because that snake, there's no joke with it. So that's not being scared as in being coward. طيب تفضل.
Allah the All-Knowing informs us that Musa became frightened in Egypt from Fir'aun and his establishment, that he may come to discover that the Coptic who was killed by him against his help to an Israeli. Now it will strengthen their doubt if they came to know about it, that Musa actually belonged to them. So Musa, when he came to the city in the next morning, was fearful and worried, turning his attention either sides in doubt. While he was passing by, he saw the same Israeli fighting with another Coptic Egyptian and seeking his help against him. Musa rebuked the Israeli and reproached him for being involved in fighting again and said, "Surely you are belligerent."
Right. So basically, when he was taking precaution, following day or after that, he saw the same Israeli person seeking help again against another Coptic. So he said, hang on a second, you are a ghawiyun mubin, person you got a troublemaker, looking for trouble. Yesterday I helped you and you need another help as well. La ghawiyun mubin, that's a bad word to say. He said, ghawi, and you just following your desires. You just clear, you could see that you are a troublemaker, regardless of your excuses. Now,
then he wanted to hit the Coptic Egyptian, but the Israeli thought it otherwise and said, "O Musa, would you slay me today as you slew a living soul yesterday?"
He said the Israeli said that. But from the verses, you might as well say, well, he had come to go and kill the Coptic. And then the wording say, he said, "O Musa, do you want to kill me just like you killed a person before, last night, yesterday? You want to be what? A tyrant in the earth. You don't want to be from those who are rectifiers." Go on.
This disclosure was from the Israeli, who was well aware of yesterday's incident. When he saw Musa coming towards the Coptic Egyptian, he thought probably he was coming to hit him, as he mistaken his rebuke to him.
Most of the scholars, the exegetes, the ones who interpret the Quran, they say that the Israeli, he's the one who said that. When the Prophet Musa wanted to go and kill, or not to kill, to punch or to help him against that Coptics, he went to the Coptic because he said the words before, hang on, you're a troublemaker. You're always yours making trouble. So when he went, Musa wanted to go and help him against the Coptic. But he thought this one, after he said these words, that Israeli thought that he's coming to kill him, the Israeli himself, because he said to him, "You are a bad person." So Musa wanted to go and help him against the Coptic, but the Israeli thought, hang on a second, he said, "I'm a bad person, I'm a troublemaker, he's going to come to me and kill me." So he said, "Verily, are you going to try to kill me just like you killed somebody before? You want to be rectifying, you want to be just a tyrant leader in the earth." That's when the Coptic knew about what happened. And that's when he went to Fir'aun and telling him that it was Musa, عليه السلام, is the one. It's Musa, he was the one who had killed that Coptic. But there is another opinion. It is the Israeli himself. Talk. Please, continue.
When he said that to Musa, the Coptic Egyptian came to know the secret and disclosed it to Fir'aun. It is also possible that this disclosure may have come from the Coptic Egyptian, and when he saw Musa coming to him, he was frightened and had a guess that he was probably the killer of yesterday's victim, or may have come to know from the Israeli he was fighting with.
Whatever it is, it could be intuition. So the Coptic, he said, yesterday we had a murder. Somebody was killed. And it looks like the one who is now trying to help this guy again. So from that, he had just said, maybe it's him. It is him, the killer. And that's a few scholars, they said this. But it's possible. Allahu A'lam. What we know for a fact, that Fir'aun knew now who is the killer of that person before. Now,
however, the news reached to Fir'aun that it was Musa who killed yesterday's victim. So Fir'aun sent his police in his pursuit. Nevertheless, a man sincere and friend to Musa brought the news of their decision before the police arrived. And translating the verse into English, and there came a man running from the farthest part of the city, saying, O Musa, the chiefs are conspiring to slay you, so depart this place. I am your sincere advisor.
Now the scholars, they said regarding this man, وَجَاءَ رَجُلٌ مِّنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ يَسْعَى. Remember, this has been repeated as well with whom? Which prophet? Same, similar to it. Come on, Yasin.
Yes.
So, yes, Mu'min Yasin. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى. This one, جاء رجل من أقصى المدينة يسعى. The focus here upon the man. The other one is more emphasis on his belief. So, a man came from they said this man most likely from Fir'aun people. The reason behind this, and he is one of the elite. Number one, he came from Aqsa al-Madinah, the outskirts of the Medina, and always the rich people, they don't like to, reside inside the, Medina and lots of noise and all of that, and they want to go in mansions, outside. That's number one. And number two, they think that he's from the elite because he said, "Innal mala." Mala means the high people. Ya'tamiruna bik. How did he know? He must be one of them. But he was hiding his iman. He knew what is going on because he was one of them. So they are planning to kill you. So this is supposed to be a secret plan to kill you. Innal mala'a ya'tamirun. So it's most likely this was a person from people of Fir'aun. He hid his iman, just like Asya. She was a believer as well. The wife of Fir'aun. He was a believer. And he told him that I am from the sincere advisor to you. Inni laka minan nasihin. Be careful. That means get out from here. Get out of Egypt. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, فَخَرَجَ مِنْهَا خَائِفًا. نعم.
And the next title is Musa goes to Midian. He departed from Egypt at once, not knowing where to go and in which direction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says,
رَبِّ نَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. Yes?
Translating the verse into English. So he departed from there.
No. You're talking about the following. Just stop. Right. Before we go ahead now in his journey to Midian, we want to learn what benefit do we gain from those verses that we have mentioned. Number one, we see that the person who confesses regarding his sins and seek forgiveness, Allah will forgive him. How did we learn this? That Musa alayhi salam, when he killed that man, he didn't mean it. He said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قال هذا من عمل الشيطان. This is from the act of the shaitan. So he's asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive him. قال ربي إني ظلمت نفسي. Oh Lord, I have wronged myself. فاغفر لي. So forgive for me. فغفر له. He forgave him. إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. So Musa alayhi salam regretted when he killed that man, and he sought forgiveness. And when you seek forgiveness and you confess, then Allah will help you. Yunus alayhi salam, you remember the story? Yunus, he confessed. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. So Allah forgave for him. And He made the whale to spit him out, as we have seen. Dawood alayhi salam, the same thing. All of them, all the prophets. Adam alayhi salam, when he ate from the tree, they sought forgiveness. So all the prophets. Second benefit we gain from this as well is that the warning against to help criminals. Because he said, Rabbi, bima an'amta alay, O Lord, for the power you gave me and all these blessings, فَلَنْ أَكُونَ ظَهِيرًا لِلْمُجْرِمِينَ. I'm not going to be helper for the criminals. Always, you should not use your powers to help criminals. Also, we learn from this that the normal fear, like a person scared from snakes or scorpions or like this, is not blameworthy. Musa alayhi salam, فَخَرَجَ مِنْهَا خَائِفًا يَتَرَقَّبُ. He got out of Egypt, he was scared, looking around. If something just moves and he says, what is this? So it's no problem. طيب. Now, did Musa alayhi salam head towards Midian or just anywhere? It's actually anywhere. Because he says in the ayah, which we're going to be translating now, and this is وَلَمَّا, is it وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهَ خَرَجَ مِنْهَا خَائِفًا. We've done that one. وَلَمَّا هي وَلَمَّا تَوَجَّهَ from this. طيب ولما توجه تلقاء مدين قال عسى ربي أن يهديني سواء السبيل. When he went towards Midian, he said, "O Lord, show me the path, the proper path." So that means from this scholar they said he didn't know he was going to go to Midian. He just wanted to get out of Egypt, and he ended up in Midian. So he was lost. Even when he went back from Midian, later on we're going to see, to Egypt, he was lost. So if he knew where is Midian exactly from Egypt, he wouldn't have lost when he went back to Egypt. Okay? He would have known the path. So he was just going anywhere and he ended up in Midian. Naam, faddal. Translate the verses, please.
And when he reached the wells of Midian, he found thereupon a group of men watering their flocks, and he found besides them 2 women trying to keep their flocks apart. So he said, "What is the matter with you?" The 2 women said, "We cannot draw water until the shepherds have gone away, and our father is a very old man." So he drew water for them. Then he went to sit in the shade and said, "My Lord, I am in need of any good that you may send to me."
Right. ولما ورد ماء مدين وجد عليه أمة من الناس يسقون ووجد من دونهم امرأتين تذودان قال ما خطبكما قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء وأبونا شيخ كبير فسقى لهما ثم تولى إلى الظل فقال رب إني لما أنزلت إلي من خير فقير.
And when he set off towards Midian, these verses tell us the story of Musa when he departed from Egypt in fear of pursuit, not knowing where he was heading to, because he had never gone out of Egypt before. And when he set off towards Midian, he took the direction of the town of Midian and said, "I hope that my Lord will guide me to the right path," i.e., I hope this path may lead me to a destination, and so it happened.
But he doesn't know Midian, by the way. He doesn't know. He never came out of Egypt. This is the first time for him to leave Egypt. He just wanted to leave. Now.
And when he reached the wells of Midian, from these wells the people of Midian took their water for themselves and for their flocks. Midian was the city where Allah destroyed the people of thickest.
Al-Aika. Ashab al-Aika.
Ashab al-Aika. They were the people of the Prophet Shu'aib, alayhi salam. However, when Musa approached the wells, he found thereupon a group of men watering their flocks, and he found besides them 2 women trying to keep their flocks apart from the flocks of others, so they could not be mixed with them.
Right. Now, Midian, by the way, is in Jordan. And it's between the borders between Jordan and Palestine. That's where Midian is. Even some of the people, they put some shrine. They say this is the shrine of Shu'aib alayhi salam. One of the kids, when I was a kid, my auntie took me to a mountain where it needs power to, climb up. Not climbing, or just to go up, But my mother, she would climb out. Even she wants to go there. My auntie, sorry. And we went there. There was a tree, and it's full of strings being tied on it with different colors. And then she tied up a string. And I was a kid. "What is this?" He said, "This is Shu'aib's tree." "And what is this?" This is a wish. So you make a wish and you tie up a string. Shirk. Alhamdulillah, that tree has been demolished. taken away. But that's what the people believe. It's a shrine. We believe Shu'aib. So Shu'aib is well known to the people there that he was in that area. People of Midian. Is that man who is going to meet the Prophet Musa Shu'aib? But we're going to come to it, inshallah. But Midian is where the people of Al-Aika, which is the people of Shu'aib, were destroyed. Okay? He found, when he went there, that there's a well, and there are lots of people there with their sheep, and they are giving water to their sheep. And there is two women who's got their own sheep, but they are trying to tell off the sheep away. Not to mix up. Why? Because the sheep is a sheep, doesn't understand. She sees water, she wants to go to the water. But the two girls, the women, they're trying to take the sheep away and stopping the sheep from mixing up with the sheep of the people. Now,
The Bible says that they were 7 sisters who came to water their flocks. This is wrong from our point of view. They may have been 7 sisters, but only 2 of them went to water their flocks. However, from the Quranic point of view, they were only 2 sisters. Musa inquired them.
Okay, so people of the book say 7, they say 9, they say 10. We have the Quran says what? 2. We don't know except for 2. We're not going to make a sort of prediction here. They maybe were 7 and they ended up to be 2. 7 sisters and some of them died to make the 2 just to synchronize with the. We say the people of the book, they've got their stories. We don't believe them, let's believe them. If something which synchronizes with the Quran, take it along. If it is not, take it away. If it is not or is, we can't really say something is a lie or not a lie, then we just narrate it as a story. But here we have 2 in the Quran. So we neglect the word 7 from the people of the book or the Bible. Naam. So here, Musa al-Salam approached them. He said, "Ma khatbukuma?" Naam. What's wrong?
What is the matter with you? The 2 women said, "We cannot draw water until the shepherds have gone away, and our father is a very old man."
Meaning, before you ask why, it's our father is an old man. Why you're here? Why don't you bring somebody like a man? Our father is what? An old man. So they don't have brothers. And the father is old. He can't come with them. This is show the righteousness of these 2 girls. SubhanAllah. They're helping their father. They're taking the sheep to so they are the shepherd girls. They are looking after the sheep. So they said, before you ask us why we are here, is our father is an old man. Now,
We could not water our flocks until all the shepherds have gone away with their flocks. We are weak and we cannot get involved in any dispute. We have to come to water them because our father is an old man who could not do it. So he drew water for them.
These people are rude. Those people are rude because they are really not having any consideration for those 2 weak women. And here the Prophet Musa al-Salam, he's got some jealousy here. He's not a prophet yet. Some jealousy and some passion here. What is this? It's not right. It's not correct. Look, he always held the haqq. That tells us why he hit that Coptic. It's not because that man is Israeli, because he wants to champion the haqq, the truth. Why this? That's not correct. So he himself, with his power, went inside and drew water for them, with them. Fadl.
The exegetes said, when the shepherds have watered their flocks, they would put back a huge stone on the mouth of the well. Then those 2 women would come and water their flocks from the water left over from the flocks of the shepherds. However, that day Musa came and removed the stone and watered the flocks for them, and then put the stone back in its place.
So what happened is that these people, when they drew water from the well, they put it outside, and whatever their sheep leaves, these women, they bring the sheep to take the remaining. But now Musa al-Salam, he came with his power, removed that stone that needs maybe 10 people to remove it, and he made them to, made the sheep to drink from that fresh water and plenty of water. Now,
The Caliph Umar radiallahu anh said that it was so huge a stone that it could only be lifted by 10 men.
And that's by the authentic from Umar al-Khattab. Now,
Translating into English the verse, then he went to sit in the shade and said, My Lord, I am in need of any good that you may send to me. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh said, Musa went from Egypt to Midian eating only plants and...
By the way, he went to the shade here. It was the shade, they say, of a tree made from it's a lote tree. Lote trees are big ones in the desert, they grow up. So, Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, which is authentic, he saw it green. And that's when he said, O Lord, I am in need of your good. I am like a poor, begging for your blessings. So Ibn Abbas, he said, yes, when he went from Egypt to Midian, he did not eat except for what?
Only plants and leaves. He was barefooted and his stomach was stuck to his back as a result of hunger.
Nothing, no food. His stomach was stuck to the back. No food, nothing. He's been having no food for a long time.
And he desperately needed some decent food. Ata bin Sa'ib said that when Musa said, My Lord, I am in need of any good that you may send to me, he said it loudly, so the women heard it.
Well, that's from Ata is also correct, authentic. Whether he said it openly so the women can hear it, give you a hint, I want food, to the women, or he is asking his Lord and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to his supplication because of his kindness. He's a very kind person. So you do kind work, do something very good, ask Allah, Allah will give you straight away on the spot. He was kind and he was helping these two women. Now the help is going to come to him. Now,
Musa gets refuge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions,
فجاءته yes فجاءته إحداهما تمشي على استحياء قالت إن أبي يدعوك ليجزيك أجر ما سقيت لنا فلما جاءه وقص عليه القصص قال لا تخف نجوت من القوم الظالمين. نعم.
Translating the meaning into English, then one of the two women came to him, walking bashfully. She said, My father invites you that he may reward you for your drawing water for us. So when he came to him and related to him his story, he said, Do not be afraid, you have escaped from the evildoers.
Then Allah says, قالت إحداهما يا أبت استأجره إن خير من استأجرت القوي الأمين.
One of the two women said, O my father, engage him on wages. Surely the best of those who you can employ is the one who is strong and trustworthy.
And Allah says, قال إني أريد أن أنكحك إحدى ابنتي هاتين على أن تأجرني ثمانية حجج.
He said, I intend to give you one of these my daughters in marriage, provided you serve me for 8 years.
فإن أتممت 10 فمن عندك وما أريد أن أشق عليك ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصالحين.
However, if you complete 10 years, that will be a grace from you. I do not want to place any hardship upon you. If Allah wills, you shall surely find me a righteous man.
قال ذلك بيني وبينك صح؟ Yes, continue. قال ذلك بيني وبينك أيما الأجلين قضيت فلا عدوان علي والله على ما نقول وكيل.
He said, Be that, i.e. the agreement between you and me, whichever of the two terms I fulfill, there shall be no injustice to me, and Allah is witness to that we say.
Is there food here? طيب. نعم.
Then when the woman came back home early, their father was surprised to see them early home. They related the incident to their father, who then asked one of them to go back and bring him home. And the ayah mentions, translating to English.
We translate it, go on. Okay. Yes, translate.
Then one of the two women came to him walking bashfully. The woman bashfully came to Musa and delivered the message. She said, My father invites you that he may reward you for drawing water for us. Musa went with her to her home to meet her father. He told him about himself and related to him his story. When he finished, the old man told him not to worry anymore because he was now away from their jurisdiction. And when he related to him his story, he said, Do not be afraid, you have escaped from the evildoers. After Musa entertained in honor, one of the daughters said to her father, O my father, engage him on wages. She asked her father to employ Musa for looking after their flocks, and then she praised him as being strong and trustworthy. Umar and Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma And many others said, when his daughter said that, he asked her, how do you know that? She said, he lifted a rock which no less than 10 people could lift. And when I led him home by being in front of him, he said, be behind me. When you have to change the path, just throw a pebble on that path and I will know.
And that's authentic. So basically, the two daughters of that old man, they have seen something from this man which tells them that he's a good one. Number one, he helped them. Number two, when they went to tell their fathers about him and he wanted to reward him, one of them came back and she came as in a shy way, walking in a way which shows us that she's shy. That my father wants to reward you. So she's seen from him that he said to her, and that's authentic, go in front of me. I'm going to go behind me. So he's walking in front of her. He's not seeing her backside. So I go in front of you and you're going to lead me. How can you lead the person from the back? She's going to lead him to her father. Now he's in the front. How can he see? He said to her, if you want to turn left or right, just throw me a stone. Stone to the right, I'll turn right. Stone to the left, I'll turn left. SubhanAllah. That means this person is what? He's very honest, very modest, very whatever you want to call him. MashaAllah. So she's seen that as well. Now, after he had come and he told that old man his story and how he left, he said, he didn't say to me, what a killer you are. Even he killed a person, but he killed him, he didn't mean it. So he believed him. He said, لَقَدْ نَجَوْتَ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. You have saved yourself. You are safe from the qawm al-zalimin, the wrongdoers, that they are mujrimeen, they are criminals. That means you are in a land which are what? Good people. You are with me and good people here. They're zalimun. So he knows from their history and their news that these people are well known in Egypt to be bad. And they are killers of the children. We must have known. They kill children, everybody will know. So they're killers. So he said, you are safe. Now that's when the girl, she came to her father. She said, Ya abati istajir. Oh father, hire him. Make him to work for you because we are two girls. We want a man. Hire him to shepherd the sheep. And then she praised him regarding what I went there to ask him and then she said, Inna khayra man istajart al-qawiyyu al-amin. The best one that you want to hire is al-qawi, the strong. She's seen his strength, mashallah. Al-amin, the trustworthy, because she's seen his trustworthy as well. He didn't want to look at her private things that she wants to. No, she said, you walk behind me and you tell me when you want to turn. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, there are 3 people who have good intuition. First one, the daughter of that man, when she said to her father, hire him, dad, for verily he is, or the best to hire is the one who is the strong and trustworthy. So, and she was correct. He ended up her husband later on. It said that he was the husband of one of the 2 girls. It's the girl, she came to ask him to come. Secondly, second person, who's got good intuition as well, is the man of Yusuf, alayhi salam. When Yusuf was picked up and he was sold, the one who has purchased him, which is Imra'atul Aziz, the wife of Al-Aziz. The Aziz, he said, the one who, عَسَىٰ أَن يَنْفَعَنَا أَوْ نَتَّخِذَهُ وَلَدًا. He might benefit us, and he was a great benefit. Yusuf alayhi salam, he was the greatest benefit in the whole of Egypt. The best of time of Egypt, they were lived at the time of Yusuf alayhi salam. The third man is Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr is intuition regarding Umar al-Khattab. Abu Bakr's intuition regarding Umar, when he made him to be the leader. So he chose Umar. So those are the 3 people whom their intuitions are super. طيب, now he's going to offer the hands of one of the girls.
He said, I intend to give you one of these, my daughters, in marriage, provided you serve me for 8 years. However, if you complete 10 years, that will be a grace from you. I do not want to place any hardship upon you. If Allah wills, you shall surely find me a righteous man. The Hanbali school of thought have inferred from this.
Hanafi.
Hanbali.
No, Abu Hanifa supposed to be. Abu Hanifa, go on. Go on, say it. What did they say?
The Hanafi school of thought have inferred from this verse that one can employ one for food and clothing.
That's definitely Abu Hanifa. So Abu Hanifa, they have from this, he had this extracted. That is, if somebody said to you, "I'll sell you one of these two slaves or two these clothes," it is correct because he said, the old man to Musa al-Salam, "I want to make you to marry one of my two girls here." Now,
they supported their opinion by a hadith which is narrated by Ibn Majah under the title, "The Chapter of Employing One for Food." Ali ibn Rabah said that he heard Utbah bin Nadr saying, "We were sitting near the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He recited Surah Tasin Mim, and after the story of Musa, he said, Musa has employed himself for 8 years or 10 years for his modesty and for the food of his stomach."
That's unauthentic. Naam. Fadal.
Be that the agreement between you and me, whichever of the two terms I fulfill, there shall be no injustice to me, and Allah is witness to what we say. Musa told his father-in-law.
Hang on a second. On just to check on that. Utbah bin, we said it is unauthentic. Yes, Utbah bin Nudr, yes?
Yeah.
So Utbah ibn Nudr is unauthentic. Yes, Tasimi, this is not authentic. طيب. When I said to you Abu Hanifa, it's actually Imam Ahmad, but Abu Hanifa is a different. You see, the book is meant. Your book is mixing up two things. The ones who are saying that this is a reason for the permissibility of saying that I will sell you one of the two clothes or one of the two slaves. This is from Abu Hanifa. Okay, that's what I said. That's Abu Hanifa. But Imam's Ahmad is that he says it is authentic and correct to hire with food and with clothes. To hire, that means, for verily, here he said to him, "I will hire you, and the return for that, I'm going to feed you." Do you understand me? I'll hire you, and the return for that, I'm going to feed you. And then they use this hadith, which is Utbah ibn Nadr, and this hadith is unauthentic. طيب. Have we finished now for this?
One more paragraph.
Yes, go on.
Musa alayhi salam told his father-in-law that was an agreement between them. If he had fulfilled 8 of the terms, then no injustice would be done.
8 years or 10 years? Yeah, 8 years or 10 years. Okay, go ahead.
If he had fulfilled either of the terms, then no injustice would have been done to him, and they made Allah the witness for their agreement. However, Musa fulfilled the term of 10 years. Imam Bukhari narrated from Sa'id bin Jubair radiallahu anh saying, "A Jew asked me which of the terms Musa fulfilled. I said, I do not know, till I come to the most knowledgeable person of Arab and ask him. So I came to Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh and asked him about it. He said he fulfilled the best of it and the longer of it."
Which was one?
10.
10 years. And that's authentic because Bukhari. And by the way, the unauthenticity of the hadith of Ibn Majah is actually in Sheikh Albani's book, Irwa al-Ghalib 1488, just for your reference. Naam. Hadith, which we said is unauthentic, Utbah ibn Nudar, is in Irwa al-Ghalil 1488. Okay. طيب, now we come to, khalas, we finish now. We're going to come to the last question we're going to put, because he didn't say it, which is, the old man, is he Shu'aib or is he not? The sayings are too many. The 3 famous sayings, is he Shu'aib or not? The 3, either number 1, he's Shu'aib, or number 2, he is a righteous old man, or number 3, we don't know. Now, the ones who said the Shu'aib, they said Shu'aib alayhi salam had lived for a long time. But there's no proof for that. We know that the one who lived for a long time, Nuh alayhi salam, because he said he's been 950 years calling the people to Allah. That's 950 da'wah. Now, Shu'aib, you know which time he was. Shu'aib was at the time of Lut alayhi salam. Because in the Quran it says that Shu'aib alayhi salam, he said to his people, وَمَا أَنْتُمْ, and you are not بِقَوْمِ لُوطٍ بِبَعِيدٍ, you're not really far off from the people of Lut. So this time gap between him and Lut, Lut alayhi salam is the nephew of Ibrahim, and Ibrahim is the father of Ishaq, the father of Yaqub, the father of Yusuf, and Yusuf has got sons, and after that later on comes Musa alayhi salam. At least 8 to 10 fathers. That's at least 1,000 years between Shu'aib alayhi salam and whom? Prophet Musa. So that point is not correct. Also, they say that it is Shu'aib because Musa alayhi salam got help from him. Well, that's not a strong proof. So got from him. What does that mean? Also, they said that he said to Musa alayhi salam, the prophet, Shu'aib, the same prophet, لا تخف, don't be scared. نجوت من القوم الظالمين. You are safe from the wrongdoers. But it doesn't mean that it's still, it's like circumstantial. This is not. Also, they said that he had described himself from the righteous. ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصالحين. But that any person can say that regarding that. You will find me from the honest. You'll find me from the nasihin. It doesn't mean that he's a prophet. Also, they said it is Midian. So the city of Midian, it is Shu'aib, which is Midian, is the city where we said Ashabul Aika were destroyed. Again, this is a long time. It could be other people. The second saying, which is more powerful, that it is not Shu'aib. He's a righteous man. Why? Because the ones who were safe from the people of Aika is only Shu'aib and very few people who believed. And the rest were destroyed. So if those people who believed, they were living with Shu'aib, let's say some of them died, but they had offsprings, and they can't be so bad to Shu'aib and let his 2 girls not to go and, feed their sheep with water. Because he's a prophet, he's known, because they lived with him, or their fathers lived with the Shu'aib. So they know that these 2 daughters belong to a prophet, and prophet whom we have seen, or our parents had seen how Allah had honored him. So they would have honored them. So it cannot be. It's impossible. Also, another proof is that Shu'aib's time, we said, it's too far. Too far. وَمَا قَوْمُ لُوطٍ مِنْكُمْ بِبَعِيدٍ. Also, if it's Shu'aib and he's been for 1,000 years, how old is his girls? They're going to be old women. They're not going to be young. Very old. You're talking about 500 years old, 600 years old. The girls. And also, if it was Shu'aib, Allah would have just said it. In the Quran, He said Shu'aib, because he's a prophet. Even the girl, when she said that my father, she said, my father يدعوك ليجزيك. He calls you to go and reward you, give you a gift because of what you have done to us. She would have just said, oh, the Prophet Shu'aib is calling you. Prophet Shu'aib. She could have said my father, but she should have hinted that this is my prophet. So also, if he was the Prophet Shu'aib, why didn't he make da'wah to Musa alayhi salam to embrace Islam? Do you understand me? Because he's a prophet. Musa is not a prophet yet. It was just said to him, you have to believe in Allah, and you have to believe this is. So the daughter of Shu'aib, she never said to her father as well, Ya Nabi Allah, Ya Rasul Allah. She didn't say that. She said, Ya Abat ista'jir. Inna khayra man ista'jarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. The third saying, which is qawl, the saying of Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, Allahu A'lam. We don't know if it's Shu'aib or if it's not Shu'aib. We just leave it. And it's a powerful saying as well. By this we come to the conclusion of our talk, and inshallah we'll continue with the journey of Musa alayhi salam and his wife. It could be his wife and his children, we don't know. We have nothing about his children, to Egypt back again. طيب. If you have any questions, please go ahead. جزاكم الله خيرا. Make it as targeting the topic as possible. تفضل. No, it could be that too far. There's no wisdom. The voice of the woman, she's not awra. The question was regarding, well, she did not use her voice. No. Well, maybe he's modest, he doesn't want to hear her as well. When you hear a woman on her own, and she talks to women, you know, shaitan is there. Shaitan is there. But don't drag from this that the women's voice are what to be awra. From 2 points of view. Point number 1, شرع من قبلنا ليس شرعا لنا. Legislation of people before us is not a legislation for us Muslims. Number 2, Aisha, she was speaking to the companions. Salama, she was speaking to the companions. Every time there's a question comes to Abdullah ibn Abbas and he doesn't have any answer, he would say, go to Aisha and ask her. And a stranger, he will ask her behind the veil. What did the Prophet do? It would have been a disaster if the women's voices to be awra. Nobody would have any information from the wives of the Prophet of Allah. Deen will not be passed at all. Who's going to pass it? It is awra. So it's not correct. Naam. Fadl. Yeah, I said all the prophets are to be given choice, whether they want to go or not. But how is being given the choice? Revelation came to the Prophet of Allah, and the Prophet of Allah, he was saying, Ar-Rafiq al-A'la. So it's not an angel came to him, it's like an inspiration. Allah has given him the choice. And he said, I want to be the highest companion, and that's why he died. But some prophets, they receive it as an angel, like Prophet Adam, alayhi salam. When the prophet of the angel of death came to him, he did not investigate, he did not knock his eye out. He just said, you came before your time. He said, no, I did not come before my time, I came on my time. He said, no, I've got another 40 years to live. Because he was counting for himself. He's been given 1,000 years. So he's been counting for 1,000. He could just have another more than that. So he said, still 40 years to go. He said, you forgot, you gave that already to your son, Dawood. You have given it as a gift. He said, no, I did not give it to him. He forgot. And he denied. That's why we forget and we deny. We are the sons of Adam, alayhi salam. Now, did he live the 1,000 or did he die at that time? More likely he lived the 1,000. More likely he lived the 1,000. And Dawood alayhi salam, because he knew his age is short, he was maximizing his ibadah so much that Allah spoke about him. Prophet Muhammad spoke about him. The best of the fast, the best of the qiyam is Dawood alayhi salam. Now, this and this. Ya tfadal. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. All prophets are ma'soomeen. They are infallible regarding the following: shirk and all major sins, like fornication, like stealing, like lying. But they are not ma'soomeen regarding minor mistakes, minor sins. So Prophet Adam, he had eaten from the tree. It's not a major. It's not like, for example, he's a fornicator. Prophet Yunus alayhi salam, he left his people before Allah gave him the permission to leave his people. But he thought they've already khalas, the time is up, and they don't deserve any more call. And all the prophets, as for Isa alayhi salam, that's what the missionaries come to you. See, look, Isa alayhi salam, doesn't say that he sinned. Well, whether it is being mentioned to us he sinned or not, we have a general saying. كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمْ خَطَّأ. That's including the prophets. All the sons and offsprings of the Adam are to be sinners. That's including the prophets. كُلُّ بَنِي آدَمْ. He didn't say except for the prophets. So they make mistakes, small mistakes. Like the Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad, he was giving da'wah to the people of elite of Quraysh, thinking that if these people embrace Islam, khalas, we have more power. And there is an old, or a man who is blind, Ibn Maktoum. His name is Abdullah or Amr. There's a difference among the scholars regarding his name. So he said, me, messenger, I want preaching as well. So the Prophet of Allah thought that it's not his time now, it's time to go on for these big ones. So he frowned. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blamed him for that. عَبَسَ وَتَوَلَّ أَنْ جَاءَهُ الْأَعْمَى. So Allah, he said to him that this person in the sight of Allah is better than those people you're trying to. But the Prophet of Allah didn't know. Also Allah said to him, لَيْسَ لَكَ مِنَ الْأَمْرِ شَيْءٍ. When he was calling upon those people in the battle of Uhud, what they've done to him, to cast him in hell. He said, it's not your business, O Prophet. This is the business of Allah Azza wa Jal to cast people in the hell. And those people who he made dua against, all of them meant to be companions later on. So these are small mistakes, but we don't believe like the people of the book when they say, Al-Yasa, he went out and shaved his head and got drunk and the children knocked him with it. What is this? We don't believe in that. We don't believe in major sins. Because the people who are to be prophet, to be chosen, the best. So Allah, He chose Musa, Stafaynak. He chose you. Muhammad Sallallahu Mustafa, He chosen. Not just any people. Wallahu alam. So they make mistakes. No. Whether mistakes in the dunya or mistakes in the deen, but they are small ones. No. And I out of as well adab, etiquette with the prophets, I don't say they sin. Out of what? It is a sin. But because I want to be polite with the prophets, I don't call prophet sinners. No, they make minor mistakes. You see the word? We have to be, as well, respecting our prophets and not to make them like the same as any other person. Dhanb. Yeah, because a mistake and a sin, but I just said the word sin in English, I don't know what it implies. Yeah. See what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know what the word means. Yeah, tafadhal.
Regarding when Musa alayhi salam helped the Egyptian against the Coptic, was he believing in the religion of the Israelites? Because he said, my Lord, forgive me.
Very good question. So is Musa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam is a believer of the same religion of Yaqub alayhi salam. Okay? So he's a believer of that. So he was on the religion of those ones. He's not a prophet, but he's a religion of those. Naam. And by the way, Banu Israel are the same religion of Yusuf alayhi salam. Naam. Was that? Was he showing that he was what? What does that help you in? Because the Banu Israel, why they were killed as well? Because they were on the religion of, most of Egypt until this time, which is Walid ibn Mus'ab, this guy who's Fir'aun, most of them, they were from Yusuf alayhi salam on that. Some of them from the children of Israel, some of them are not, but they're adapting that deen. Allahu A'lam, he was showing it. I don't know. But definitely when Fir'aun was basically contemplating, or he decided to kill the children, he believed that this prophecy that had been prophesied by Prophet Ibrahim is going to be taking place. And then one of the children going to be taken, he's going to kill the king of Egypt, and he's going to make Bani Israel to overrule. That's why they killed the children, isn't it? And that is why as well there's a story in the Sunan al-Nasa'i al-Kubra. I haven't narrated it because I was not really sure about it. And I'm still not sure about it. When the wife of Fir'aun, she wanted to ask now for her son, after he's been suckled for 2 years, to be brought back to the palace. So she asked for his mother as well to come. So she asked everybody in the palace to prepare a gift for Musa, including the mother. So when they came, everybody gave a gift. She said, I'm going to see if you give a gift or not. I'm going to see. So they gave a gift to Musa. And they honored as well the mother of Musa. And then she said, I'm going to make Fir'aun. This is by Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said it. But as I said, authenticity wise, Allahu Alam. Fir'aun to honor him as well. So she took the baby to Fir'aun, put him in his lap. And suddenly he grabbed his beard. When he grabbed his beard, the ones beside him said, he could be from those children who's been saved from Banu Israel, and he's the one maybe who's going to take over. So he commanded for him to go and kill him. So when she knew, the wife of Pharaoh, she said, no, why you want to kill him? He's a baby. How can you? She said, no, but he claims he's going to take the kingship. He's holding my beard. Nobody dares would do that. And he's from his youth, from his childhood, he's already. So she said, okay, bring him 2 pearls and 2 burning coals. And see, if he goes to the pearls, then yes. If he goes to the burning coals, that means not. He can't distinguish if he's going to grab something burning. So he put the pearls and he put the pearls and the 2 burning coals. So Musa alayhi salam straight away went to the burning coals. Straight away, Fir'aun, he took it away from him. He knew that the child doesn't understand anything. Because the story is too fascinated, that's why I didn't mention it. Do you understand me? Too fascinating. I didn't mention it. So I leave it like this. Allahu A'lam if he declared, when he declared, he said his dua in front of Fir'aun or not. But it looks like he did not. Wallahu A'lam. Faddal. When did he find out that he's from Bani Israel? Yeah, that's as well we don't know. Because now the thing is, looking at the story, if you ask Allah Azza wa Jal to make his brother Harun, which we're going to be talking about later when it comes to Harun's story, alayhi salam, a prophet and a helper, did he mean brother in fostering or brother as in blood? Because if he's brother in blood, that means he's from Bani Israel. He knows. Wallahu A'lam, it looks like he knew somehow after maybe he left Midian or Allahu A'lam. There's no thing there to point out. But bearing in mind that he was found in the river, who is from the Coptic would throw the children in the river? It must be from Bani Israel, trying to what? To save his child. And remember I said as well that Fir'aun, he tolerated for 1 year, there will be no killing, and the following year there will be killing. Harun was born either 1 or 3 years, an odd number, before Musa alayhi salam. Allahu A'lam. Faddal. Can anybody distinguish marks between Coptics and Bani Israel? It looks like there is a distinguishing, that the people are, Banu Israel, they've got many special complexions, like Chinese, like Japanese. As soon as you say Japanese, khalas. The same thing as well from the Coptic, and then there was a distinguishing marks, Wallahu A'lam. And that's why some of the scholars said regarding this, he helped the Banu Israel, he said he helped his Banu Israel, even though that he's upon the haqq, he's helping him, but he's from Banu Israel, he knew he was Banu Israel. Now, last question, please. Yeah, the biblical 7 women, Allahu A'la. That's authentic, from the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not biblical. Biblical, they don't mention that. Not the highest rib of the bone, no. They say from the rib, but they're not saying that. We say the smallest one, the highest one, the most crooked. They don't have these details, exact details. They have it that says from the ribs. But which rib? We are the highest. We got even further information. Subhanakallah bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.